In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove and replace a left rear brake hose on a Dodge Ram 2500. Prior to raising the vehicle, I actually put a stopper on the brake pedal. So basically, compress the brake pedal all the way down and use something that you can pry against the seat, bottom of the seat, and the brake pedal to keep the brake on. And now that'll eliminate tons of brake fluid coming back here. I can do this job with minimal brake fluid loss. Now I'm going to spray my connectors so that way it's easier to separate them and hopefully not break anything. Let that soak. I'm going to spray this just for the heck of it. I'm also going to spray this bleeder screw because you are going to need to bleed the brakes after. Double check all your bleeder screws all the way around. I suggest spraying them, letting them soak. Make sure they break free prior to doing the change because you might have to replace the caliper if this breaks off or rounds off. So my bleeder screw is kind of rounded off, so I'm going to use a twisty socket. It should be like a 3/8. All right, so I'm going to heat that up so it doesn't break. So now that I heated it up and I use a little twisty socket, it breaks open right away, and that's perfect. I just want it to loosen up. I'll leave it like that. I'll snug it up a little bit. So now I'm going to remove this bolt right here, the mounting bolt. It's a 10mm socket, and let's hope it doesn't break. So I'm going to break the line free from this little junction. It's a 12mm flare nut. Now, it is being replaced, so if the actual line breaks off, it doesn't matter as long as the actual junction does not break. Okay, so this is okay if the line breaks because we are replacing it. Take that off. Take that right off. And you'll see like the minimal brake fluid come out because the pedal is compressed. So now we're going to break the caliper bolt free, which from the flex hose to that, some call it a banjo bolt, and it's a 14mm or 9/16. It all depends on how worn out yours is. Break that free. And I do have a catch bucket underneath for that particular reason, because the caliper itself is going to drain quite a bit. Let me just back it off like this. And there you have it. I'm going to pop that copper washer off because the hose comes with 2 new ones, and you do not want to use the old ones. Make sure you grab that bolt and discard the old hose. So here's the new hose. Make sure you got it going the way you want it to go. So I'm going to attach the hose to the caliper, and I'm going to put the new copper washer on this side of the bolt and line it up, and then put the new copper washer on the back side. So we have 2 new copper washers. And you see this cutout right here? You want to make sure it's facing out, not downward to the caliper. And then hold it there, start this by hand, snug it right down. It's important to have that catch basin underneath because all the residual fluid from the caliper is coming out. This mounting bolt is really important, obvious, so I'm going to have to drill this out, chisel it out, whatever I have to do. If yours breaks, please remove it and re-tap it. All right, so now that I've drilled that out and tapped it, I'm going to start this side of the line before I even mount it, because I want the freedom to be able to wiggle the line around, make sure that it doesn't get cross-threaded, and snug it right up. Grab my 12mm wrench. Note that that's going to go just like that. Get the new bolt. My ratchet. Perfect. Let's make sure this is nice and snug. There is no torque specs on something like this. It's a feel. You want it to bottom out. Just give it a little eighth of a turn. Those copper washers will get crushed in. Everything looks good. Now we're going to lower it, add brake fluid, and bleed it. So you can open the hood, locate your master cylinder. In this case, it's right in front of the driver's seat. Usually it will say on the cap. Sometimes it says it here, what kind of fluid to put in. You can always check your manual. I already took the cap off carefully because you don't want to put any dirt in. Make sure it's clean. I twisted the cap off and I didn't see it there. But I got up on the ladder and looked, and it says right there, .3. So we're just going to top it off. Then I'm going to replace the cap before you apply the brake pedal. Now I'm going to go in the cab and I'm going to pump the brakes up to fill that caliper back up. And I'm just going to try gravity bleeding it and check the pedal at this time because I only did one caliper. So make sure your fluid's topped off in the master cylinder and then pump your brake up. You want to fill that caliper back up and make sure there's no leaks. Then you can gravity bleed it. All right, so now we've added to the master cylinder, we've pumped the brakes up, got the fluid in these cylinders, all these caliper pistons, and now we are going to open the bleeder screw and let it gravity bleed. I want to just fill that in that way. And now we're going to watch the air come out. That's the whole point of gravity bleeding. See those air bubbles? Try to open it up more. This process could take up to 5, even 10 minutes. This is what we're looking for, a nice steady stream. No air pockets anymore. And now it looks like we can snug it up. So because of this issue, I can see this bleeder screw is pretty done. The brake pedal feels great already, but I would suggest replacing this bleeder screw. So I'll probably get a new one and replace it, and then make sure that it has a rubber cap so it doesn't happen again in the future. When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.